All right, getting the final setup going. We will be starting shortly. About a minute or two. Hey, Simon, how you doing? Hey, Chloe. I'm good. I'm good. How you doing? Making sure we're all set up here, ready to go. You haven't been in a little bit, huh? What was the most recent game? We have Tribond. Oh, Chloe, I start with the balloon game. We're gonna get started with the balloon game right about now. Yeah, we have Taboo, Tribond, Blurt, Password, Guess That Sport, the balloon game, and Battleship. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to play Guess That Balloon. However, the rules have changed. You guys are only allowed 2 guesses per balloon. Only 2 guesses per balloon. First person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. All right. Oh, it had a hole in it. Already off to a good start. All right, continuing on. We're gonna play a round of Guess That Balloon. It's only the two of us. That's fine. You only get 2 guesses. You still only get 2 guesses. First person to correctly guess what I'm making will get a point on the scoreboard. Only 2 guesses per person. All right. Ooh. First person to correctly guess what I've made will get a point on the scoreboard. Dog is correct. Simon, welcome to the scoreboard, Simon. And as a returning champion, you are entered in as Pink. Continuing on to another round of Guess That Balloon. The first person to correctly guess what I'm making will get a point on the scoreboard. Only 2 guesses per player, so make them count. First person to correctly guess what I'm making will get a point on the scoreboard. Only 2 guesses per player. Uh-oh. There's a hole in this balloon, too. There's supposed to be a little bit of a body right here, but there was a hole in that. I'm going to go ahead and make another one. Sorry about that. It's 2 balloons, 2 bad balloons out of 3. That's not good. It's okay. Continuing on, we're going to remake the same one. First person to correctly guess what I'm making will get a point on the scoreboard. Only 2 guesses per player per balloon. Just to keep it fair for anybody new. Nope, it's the same round. First person to correctly guess it is not a dragonfly. First person to correctly guess what it is, I will draw on it. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't. It is not a hot dog. It is not a mouse. First person correct to guess what I make, what I've made. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. It can sting you. Makes honey. There's a hint. Hey, it is not a butterfly. It's very small. It's supposed like this big in real life. Bzzz. B would be correct. Well, it's not quite that I got new lights. I had to just take down my old lights. I'm packing I'm moving semi soon, so I've been really busy today packing. That is point for Simon. Moving on to another round, and Dollar, welcome back, Dollar, welcome back. Moving on to another round of Guess That Balloon. The first person to correctly guess what I'm making within 2 guesses. Only 2 guesses are allowed. First person to correctly guess what I'm making will get a point on the scoreboard. Hope everyone's having a good day. First person to correctly guess what I'm making will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 guesses per player per balloon. Oh, bear would be correct. Bear would be correct. Pop the body, my bad. That is a point for Simon. Simon, you're at 3. That was a good guess. All right, we're going to do one more. We'll do a few more rounds. My apologies. Sorry, guys. I'm really, really tired. I've been up late and had to get up early. Playing now another round of Guess That Balloon. The first person to correctly guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. All right. It's 12 p.m. Wow, it's late for you, Simon. It's only 5 p.m. for me, but Hey, Javier, welcome. 2 guesses per balloon. Oh. Turtle would be probably correct. The turtle was what I was going for, but I popped its head and its butt. Turtle would be correct. Who's the first person to say turtle? That would be, hey, Baronator, welcome back. That would be Javier. Javier, let me add you to the scoreboard as our former champion. You are being entered in as red. Javier, welcome to the scoreboard. Just popping in on your way to the city right now. Awesome, awesome. Fair enough. Oops. Use the wrong marker. You have to be careful about that. And moving on to another round of Guess That Balloon. You guys have 2 guesses. That's 5 rounds, yeah. Now you have no chance of winning. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to play another round of Guess That Balloon. First person correctly guess what I'm making within 2 guesses will get a point on the scoreboard. You have a chance. Simon, you already made the Hall of Champions. Welcome back. Continuing on. I don't think... Don't give up too soon, Simon. Hey, Dollar, good to see you come back. Hey, Richard Green, welcome back. First person within 2 guesses correctly guess what I have made will get a point on the scoreboard. Only 2 guesses are allowed. Here's a hint. Richard Green got it. Richard Green, welcome back. Do believe Richard was the first person to say gun. Richard, a former champion returning. Welcome to the scoreboard, Richard. You are entering as pink. Pleasure to have you. Continuing on to another round of Guess That Balloon. First person to correctly guess what I'm making within 2 guesses will get a point on the scoreboard. I believe Family Feud is what you're looking for. Family Feud is the name of the game you're thinking of. First person to correctly guess what I've made within 2 guesses will get a point on the scoreboard. Snake would be correct. Baronator got Snake. Yeah, we'll move on to that soon, Simon. Baronator, welcome to the scoreboard. As a returning champion, you will be entered in as purple. All right. You said you wanted to play Family Feud, huh? Family Feud's a fun one. Oh, the cards are right here. I was like, where did I put them? Moving on to another game, we're going to play Family Feud. All right, up to 5 points can be handed out to the players. Name a person you don't necessarily like, but are obligated to get along with. Nice, Simon. Name a person you don't necessarily like, but are obligated to get along with. Those are some funny answers. We go ahead and close the poll right there. All right, from the top we have Boss is on here. That is a point for Javier. Friend is not on here. Parents are also not on here. Enemy, not on here. Name a person you don't necessarily like, but are obligated to get along with. Okay, this makes sense. Cousin, teachers, boss, sibling. Sibling is on here. That is a point for Baronator. Enemy, pets, lawyer. Yeah. All right, a couple points were. You're your own boss and still not sure how you feel about the guy. I feel that. All right, we're going to play another round of Family Feud. Name something a wife asked her husband to pick up on his way home from work. Hey, Trinity, welcome. We're playing Family Feud. We just started. Name something a wife asked her husband to pick up on his way home from work. Up to 6 points can be handed out to the players. Hey, just for fun fishing, Mom, welcome. Name something a wife asked her husband to pick up on his way home from work. And we're going to close the poll right there. All right, going to the top. Hey, we got a lot of regulars and awesome. We've got groceries. Not specific enough. Because that could be like 3 of the answers. Food, also not specific enough. You guys aren't technically wrong. They're just a little too broad. Children. Leave them where they are. Have a nice weekend. Keys. Car. Money. Groceries. Money. Shop. Hello. Gas. Pizza is on here. Pizza's on here. That's a point for Richard Green. Dog food. Wine. You guys have better answers that I feel than are on here. Drink. Medicine. Beverage. Milk. Milk is on here. That is a point for Richard. Beer. Just for fun fishing, Mom. I'm going to put you on the scoreboard for beer. Beer is on here. Yeah, it was hard because with like food, that would have been like 3 points at once. And so I was just a little too general with food and groceries. Milk and bread and pizza were on here. Tampons, beer, and dry cleaning. Wait, did somebody say clothes? If somebody said clothes, I think somebody might have said clothes. And if somebody did, then I'll give it to them. No, they didn't, which is fair. All right, just for fun fishing, Mom. Welcome to the scoreboard. Oh, it looks like I lost 1. I lost my marker. Found it. 2. It looks like you're currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions. I'm a little bit tired today. I was up late and got up early, and I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so I've been doing a lot of packing. I'm also moving, so I've been doing a lot of packing. Hey, just for fun fishing, did it just start? 18 minutes and 40 seconds ago. Pretty much. Hey, Chris Plays, welcome back. We're going to play another round of Family Feud. Where am I going? This weekend, I'm going to a family reunion, and then I'm moving out of state and potentially out of the country in a few weeks. So, moving out of state, and then, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to a certain state or a certain country yet. I'm not 100% sure. Still trying to figure the details out. Depends on a couple scenarios. So, you can't see me when it gets on. All right, we're going to move on to another round of Family Feud. Up to 5 points can be handed out to the players. You guys are allowed as many guesses as you would like. comment as many comments as you would like until I put done in the chat. It's a little too quiet around. Name a reason kids give for not finishing their dinner. Name a reason kids give for not finishing their dinner. It's your host, Steve. Oh, Simon D did say close. I just saw that you guys, I went back and I saw Simon D did say close. Simon, I'm going to give you the point for the last round because dry cleaning was on there, and I just realized that you guys had said that in the chat. So I went back and I got you the point. Is this the only live tonight? I'm not 100% sure. I can't promise a second one tonight. Simon, you said close on the last round right above when I said done, so I counted it. You got the point for dry cleaning on the last round. Current round, we're on name a reason kids give for not finishing their dinner. I cannot guarantee that I'm going to do another one tonight. I'm just going to have to play it by ear, so I've got a lot of stuff going on. When's the round over? When I say done, there's not many answers. I wanted to give some. Plenty. Let's just troll you guys sometime when I'm really tired. Just don't say done for like an hour. I wouldn't do that. It would be ridiculous, but it would be kind of funny. All right. Debbie. Simon, please keep it appropriate in the chat. Please keep it appropriate in the chat. All right. Continuing on. Thank you for deleting it, though. All right. Name a reason kids give for not finishing their dinner. Just for Fun Fishing said nasty. Dislike it is on here. I'm going to go ahead and give that to you. Welcome to the scoreboard. As a returning champion, you are being entered as pink. Just for fun fishing. Where's the back marker? There we go. All right. Continuing on, full is a point for Just for Fun Fishing. Mom, you are at 2, currently the only competitor, but still in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions. Sick. Stomach Hurts is on here. That's a point for Javier. You're at 3. Full, already given out. Full, already given out. Stomach Hurts, well, I gave it to Sick. Doesn't like it. Dislike it. I believe I gave that out for Nasty. Yep. Need a toilet. I gave that to Stomach Hurts. Otherwise, I would have given it to you for that one. Don't want it. Yep. Homework me out. Tired. Don't like it. All right, continuing on. A couple points were handed out. Some of the other reasons were ate a big lunch. Stomach hurts, dislike it, not hungry, and full. Moving on to another round of Family Feud. Uh-oh. Wow, did we go through them all? I have another pack if we did. What the heck? Okay, we're going to do this one. I didn't do this one. Moving on to another round of Family Feud. Only 3 points can be handed out. Name a complaint a goldfish might have about the bowl he lives in. Name a complaint a goldfish might have about the bowl he lives in. These are funny answers. All right, I don't think anyone's going to get the third one, so I'm going to go ahead and just cap it right there. Oh, never mind. All three were gotten. All three were gotten. All right. Too small. That would be a 0.4 just for fun fishing. Dirty is a point for Javier. I carefully read the comments real quick to see. I know somebody got the third one, but I just got to make sure. You guys had really funny answers, by the way. Doesn't like the decor, too much light. No friends. See through the walls. There, no privacy was the other one. I'm going to get see through the walls to Javier. Because no privacy is on here. That is the third point. Yo, AC boy. Checking in before you start work. Awesome. I hope work goes good. Hey, that's okay. I'm probably not going to be streaming again until Monday. Yeah, probably Monday. Either Sunday night or Monday, but probably Monday. So... All right, moving on to another round of Family Feud. For what specific reason did you get your last traffic ticket? For what specific reason did you get your last traffic ticket? Up to 4 points can be handed out to the players. So close, almost all four. Almost all four were given out. And got him. All right, we have speeding, parking, ran a red light, and ran a stop sign. I do believe they were all given out just for fun. Fishing got speeding first. You're at 3. Parking, the Javier. And then light and stop sign. Run a light just for fun fishing, Mom. You're at 3. And the first person to say stop sign would be Javier. You're at 7. Continuing on to another round of Family Feud. Moving on to another round of Family Feud. Up to 5 points can be handed out to the players. Name something people should not leave in parked cars. Name something people should not leave in parked cars. Adios, dollar. And we got them all. We got them all. We have phone. Javier, that is a point for you. Wallet, just for fun fishing, Mom, that is you. By the way, that is on the same line as money. I'm only giving that point out once in case somebody else had money, just so you guys know. Watch. Give it out to phone and wallet. The watch is not on there. Keys was in. Yes, keys was in there. That's another point for Javier. You're at 9. So now left we have kids and animals. Oh, just for fun fishing said kid. And the first person to say animal, I know somebody said it just for fun fishing, Mom. You're at 5. Awesome. Awesome. Excuse me. I also recommend not leaving your wife in a parked car. Continuing on to another round of Family Feud. Oh, you want to play Guess the Sport? We can do that. We've got a few left in this pack. A few are left in this pack. Making sure this is not the one I did. Perfect, perfect. At least leave the AC on. I guess that's fair. Moving on to Guess That Sport. per Simon's request. The first person to guess the sport based off the clues and the hints that I give will get a point on the scoreboard. Oh, man. The buzzwords are jump, speed, obstacles. One person plays this. Run, jump, run, jump, run, jump, run. One person plays this against other people, playing against one. It is a track and field sport. The athlete begins with a traditional sprint from the starting point. Hurdle is correct. Hurdling is correct. There's a point for Javier. You're at 10. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. The buzzwords are strength, barefoot, defense. This is a 1v1 sport typically done indoors. The color of the belt represents different levels of skill in this sport. I am also an effective means of self-defense. Kicking and striking are common actions in this sport. Karate is correct. That is a point for Just for Fun Fishing. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. First person to correctly guess this sport based off the clues and the hints that I give will get a point on the scoreboard. You're a black belt. Awesome. Awesome. Makes sense why you got it. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. First person to guess it will get a point on the scoreboard. We've got gloves, helmet, ball. This is a team sport. I am the national sport of the United States of America. The players score by eating a home run. The game is divided into 9 periods called innings. He's never played a sport in his life. Well, these are two very conflicting things. Baseball was the correct answer. Oh, man. These are two very, very conflicting things. One says you have a black belt. The other says you've never played a sport in your life. That was hilarious. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That was freaking hilarious. Oh, my God. He's never played a sport in his life. Oh, my God. This is funny. All right. First person on my screen who said baseball would be Just for Fun Fishing. That was funny. Just for Fun Fishing, you are at 6. Throw it under the bus. Yeah. Doesn't have sports. Moving on to... We just did that one. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. First person to correctly... You should have never showed her the game. Yeah, I feel like some people do show people the game and then they regret it. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. First person to correctly guess the sport based off the clues and the hints that I give will get a point on the scoreboard. The buzzwords are ball, speed, net. This can be played on single, 1 versus 1, or on a team. We played indoor or outdoor. I am played on various surfaces, including grass and clay. Tennis is correct. First person on my screen to say tennis was Richard. Richard, you have 4. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. The first person to correctly guess this sport will get a point on the scoreboard. Hey, Ref Wolf, welcome back. We're playing Guess That Sport. The first person to correctly guess this sport will get a point on the scoreboard. The buzzwords are balance, technique, and waves. One person plays this, not really against anybody, though, just kind of by themselves. Waves have a major influence on this sport. Come to the beach and enjoy this sport. Surfing would be correct. There's a point for Javier. You're at 11. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. First person to correctly guess this sport based off the clues and the hints that I give will get a point on the scoreboard. The buzzwords are speed, helmet, and gear. Being able to balance is extremely important for this sport. Tour de France is a famous tournament in this sport. This sport takes place on a track or a road. It says indoor, outdoor. I've never in my life seen somebody ride one of these inside, though. You're only staying for a minute, no problem. Biking is correct. Biking or cycling, both acceptable answers. I know you're only staying for a minute. Don't matter. Welcome to the scoreboard. Ref Wolf, and as a former champion, you do enter the scoreboard as pink. I've never seen somebody ride a bike inside. Maybe inside a Walmart, but you have a football match tomorrow. Good luck. That sounds fun. That sounds fun. F1. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. Good luck on your guys' football games. Hey, I hope your first day of school went good. BMX in a skate park. Oh, I guess that's fair. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Moving on to the Guess That Sport. The first person to correctly guess this sport based off the clues and the hints will get a point on this scoreboard. Awesome. Good luck. Good luck on your matches. Glad your first day was good. The buzzwords are jump, court, net. A shuttlecock is used in this sport. The two common forms of the game are singles and doubles. The player needs to win 21 points to win the game. Apparently, it is only played indoors. Badminton is correct. Badminton is correct. I'm going to give the point to Simon. You know you had a typo. It was close enough. Simon, you're at 5 points. Hey, Ref Wolf, have a good night. Have a good night. Moving on to another round. We're just going to finish the cards. We've got about 4 cards left in Guess That Sport. And I'll have to come up with something else. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. The first person to correctly guess this sport based off the clues and the hints that I give will get a point on the scoreboard. The first 3 buzzwords are ball, helmet, pitch. I am the national sport of Australia. I am played in 3 different formats. This is a team game. This is played outdoors. Croquet is close enough to cricket. Yo, what up, Connor? Welcome back. We're currently playing a few rounds of Guess That Sport. Just for fun fishing, you got the point for croquet. It is cricket, but croquet was close enough. This will likely be the only stream of the night. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. First person to correctly guess the sport. We're going to point on the scoreboard. We have focus, aim. This will give it away. Bowstring. The equipment used in the sport was once used for hunting. It still is sometimes. Robin Hood was very skilled at this activity. I am one of the oldest sports in the world. Well, yep, people needed it for survival. What is this? Simon, please don't put a wall of crickets on. Is that what you did? Okay. Archer is correct. Is this a wall of crickets, Simon? Yeah, it does look like it. All right. That is a point for just for fun. Fishing, you are at 8. Moving on to another round. We have 2 rounds left of Guess That Sport. Then we went through the deck. First person to correctly guess this sport, based off the clues and hints, we'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have distance, strength, throw. This is done outdoors. A heavy disc is thrown in this sport. The aim is to throw a disc further than your opponent's disc. Players require upper body and arm strength to be good at this sport. Shot put is not correct. I thought it was, but it is actually not. Discus is correct. Discus. I thought it was shot put, and then I actually read it. Which, to be fair, they practically could have said the same thing. Instead of a heavy disc, it'd just be a heavy ball, and it pretty much would have been the same thing. First person to say discus was Javier. Last round. Give me 1 second before I make a mistake. Interesting. Okay, continuing on. Last round of Guess That Sport. The buzzwords are speed, ball, mallet. The player rides an animal while playing this sport. This is a team game done outdoors. I can only be played with the right hand. The attire worn by players of this sport has developed into a global fashion trend. Polo is correct. I had to check into that because water polo is apparently a different sport. When I saw red polo and saw horses, I'm going to have to look into this. I don't even know if I've ever actually even heard of this. I think this is my first introduction to polo, so I'm going to put that here, and I'm going to look into that later. That sounds interesting. Might watch a couple minutes of it, see the gist of that. Moving on. We are going to play Tribond. We have about 14 minutes till the break. We knew it. I see you guys knew it. That's crazy. Rich people sport. Well, I've got YouTube, so I'm going to watch it for probably 3 minutes, get the gist, and then that'll be probably the extent of the experience I ever have with it. Because I am not a rich person. Nor do I want to ride a horse to play a sport. That doesn't sound age appropriate for my broken body. Continuing on, we're going to play a round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have rye, French, pumpernickel. Connor asked, is anyone in the lead for the Hall of Champions? That would be Just for Fun Fishing Mom with 5 points, with no competitors currently. Bread would be correct. There's a point for Richard. Green, you are at 5. We only have 1 person on the board competing to enter the Hall of Champions. You don't understand one thing? Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have the quiver, the bow, the target. How did my hitchhiking go? Are you referring to the Canada one or the desert one? Archery would be correct. That is a point for Simon. They both went well. They were both very, very different. One was very cold. One was very hot. They were very, very opposite experiences. One, the desert was good. It was about 1,000 miles through the desert. I was in almost 100 degrees the whole time. Versus the Canada one, I was in very cold weather most of the time. Continuing on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. I can read the scores real quick. Simon, you have 6. Javier, you have 12. Richard Green has 5. Baronator, 2. Just for Fun Fishing, 8. Ref Wolf, 1. And every other 1 person competing to enter the Hall of Champions. Just for Fun Fishing, Mom in the lead with 5 points, trailed by no one. Continuing on to another round of Tribon. The first person to correctly tell me what these 3 things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have triceps trapezius flexor. Just for Fun Fishing Mom. I try not to root for too many people, but I'm pretty confident in you right now. I don't want to root for too many people, make other people feel bad, but man, I'm pretty confident. Muscle would be correct. That's a point for Just for Fun Fishing. Yeah, I learned in wrestling that when 2 teammates go up against each other, the reason the team is not supposed to watch and just the coaches is because we're all supposed to be a team, so it's unfair if everybody's rooting for one person over the other. So I try to remember that valuable lesson. But we are still competing, and you're winning. So continuing on to another round of Tribon. You swear that's a new emoji? What is that, a dog? That was American specific, so we're going to go ahead and skip that one. Continuing on to another round of Tribe on the first person to what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Huh? Scorpions, spiders, ticks? No way, really? Arachnid would be correct. Wow, I cannot believe you got that. Wow. And what a grand entrance for Bronny. Bronny, welcome back. You are entering the scoreboard as pink, as a former returning champion. I cannot believe you got that. Good stuff. Good stuff. I just didn't think a tick would be classified as an arachnid. Bronny Lee, that is a point for you. Thought you'd be out for today, but guess who's back? You did pop out of nowhere with that killer good answer. I think I'm only doing one today, guys. I'm pretty tired. I might do two, but I'm probably not doing two. I'm probably just doing one today. When did I start the stream? 46 minutes ago, as of now. Continuing on to another round of Tribe on the first person to tell me what these three things have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have Earl, Prince, Queen. Earl, Prince, Queen. Simon, please do not spam emojis. I'm going to go ahead and remove that so it's easier for me to keep track of that. Hey, welcome back to the Wizard. It's been a while. We have Royal is close enough. Royal, they are titles of royalty. That is a point for Bronny. Good to see you back, the Wizard. Bronny, you're at 2. Continuing on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common. We'll get a point on this scoreboard. We have Navy, Royal, Sky. Blue would be correct. That's a point for Bronny. You are at 3. Continuing on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have pupil, iris, cornea. I would be correct. That was a point for Bronny. Bronny, you're at 4. Let me go figure. Remember, I can't always promote my chat if need be. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have yellow, black, Baltic. I will repeat them. C is correct. Yellow sea, black sea, Baltic sea. That is a point for Javier. Javier, you are at 13. Moving on to another round of Tribon. First person to tell me what these three things have in common, and we'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have Sentai, Desai, Kilo. Sentai, Desai, Kilo. Can anybody tell me what system it belongs to? Can anybody tell me what system, what measurement system it belongs to? Metric would be correct. Metric would be correct. That is a point for the Wizard. The Wizard, welcome back to the show and welcome to the scoreboard. As a returning champion, you are entering the scoreboard as pink. We have about 5.5 minutes till we go on the halftime break. This will be the last show until Monday, until I get back from town, or from out of town. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Checkers in a checker game, hours in a day, 24 eggs. Checkers in a checker game, hours in a day, 24 eggs. Monday's a bank holiday for you. 24 would be correct. So that is point 4. Richard Green. $24 would be the answer. Checkers in a checker game, hours in a day, 24 eggs. Moving on to... All right, Baronator. If I don't see you later, I'll see you Monday. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Chocolate, whole, skim. We have chocolate, whole, skim. Milk would be correct. That is a point for Bronny. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have pump, flat, and clog. All right, Javier, take care. We'll see you Monday. Pump, flat, clog. I can't believe it. This answer is ridiculous. Shoes, correct. That is point 4. Richard Green. You're at 7. Apparently they are shoes. I would have never guessed that. I would have guessed like plumbing or something. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have a courtroom, a dugout, a picnic table. Makes sense once you hear it. A courtroom, a dugout, a picnic table. Bench would be correct. That is a point for Just for Fun Fishing. Just for Fun Fishing, you are at 10. Moving on to another round of Tribon. Do a card and then probably go on break soon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have April, June, November. They are months. That is not the correct answer, though. So 30 would be correct. They are months with 30 days. That's a point for Brawny. We are going to continue on. We are going to continue on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have spring, salt, mineral. Water would be correct. That is a point for Brawny. Last one, and then we are going to go on a break. We have types of planes. Fighter. I'm not giving the points out for that one. I read the answer first. No, guys, that was the answer. I meant to say fighter, glider, crop duster, and their types of planes, but I read types of planes first. Hey, Michael Moore, welcome back. Guys, just so you know, this break is going to be a little bit longer than they normally are. I've been a little sick today, so this is probably going to be a 10-minute break. This will be one of the only times I do a 10-minute break. Normally they are 5 minutes, but I have been a little bit sick, so we're going to do a 10-minute break. We're going to do a 10-minute break. Nobody gets the point for me reading out types of planes. So, 10 minutes. I am going to still have a timer. I'll try my best to be back in 10 minutes. When you guys hear the sound of the gong, the break has started. When you guys hear the sound of the air horn, the break is over. Oh, I'm good. I'm just... Thank you. We are going to start now. Hey, it's Shannon. I host the games and keep score while you play them by commenting. PayPal and Venmo are mindfuldiscovery@yahoo.com. These should be pinned in the comments. If you are interested in any of the games played on this show or the props used, I have affiliate links in the description. I earn a commission for each product bought at no extra cost to you. Another way you could show support is by purchasing my book, Beyond Solitaire, 52 Unique One-Player Games. This is a book on learning the rules for 52 solitaire-type card games with various levels of difficulties, chance, and skill. I wrote detailed instructions for new and experienced players to be able to learn these games, along with setup pictures for examples. Beyond Solitaire, 52 Unique One-Player Games is available on Amazon as a paperback book and on the Kindle store. It is also enrolled in the Kindle Unlimited program. We have about 7 minutes left in the break, about 7 minutes. All right, we are back. Thank you guys again for your patience. It is much appreciated. Sorry about that. All right, I will be adding 6 minutes to the end of the show. 6 minutes because I did have to take an extra. I'll be adding 5 minutes in 30 seconds to the end of the show because I did have to take some extra time for the break. Do apologize that. I do appreciate you guys' patience. All right. And we're gonna continue on. We're gonna start it off soft with a round of guess that balloon. You guys are allowed 2 guesses per balloon. 2 guesses per balloon. Actually, I'm gonna add 6 minutes. Just catching up with the comments. I do make a community post every day when I'm gonna stream. I will not be streaming again for a few days. I will probably not be streaming again until Monday. I'm going out of town. Hey, that's okay. I also just got back at an extended break. I started eating healthy a couple years ago. I cut out a lot of junk and stuff for the most part. Still do monsters and stuff once in a while, but ever since cutting out junk food, whenever I have it again, it just destroys me. It's really rather unfortunate. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because the blessing is it reminds me it's bad for my body by also cursing me at the same time with destroying my body after I have junk food. So it's rather unfortunate. But it's a good thing too. Moving on to another round of Guess That Balloon. First person to correctly guess what I'm making within 2 guesses will get a point on the scoreboard. But at least you can't roll wide back from eating junk. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fast food really does it for me too now. I haven't been able to eat fast food in a long time. I think I've only had it 4 times this year, maybe. Like, it's a good thing, but it just sucks because once in a while, I'd like a unhealthy treat, you know? But then again, knowing myself, it would just lead back into a bad habit, so. Hey, Zach, welcome back. Michael Moore, welcome back. First person to check to guess what I'm making within 2 guesses with a point on the scoreboard. Sword would be correct. Sword would be correct. That is a point for Richard Green. Moving on to another round of Guess That Balloon. The first person to correctly guess this balloon within 2 guesses will get points on the scoreboard. 2 guesses per player, per balloon now. I will read the scores in a second. Swan would be correct. It is a swan. There's a point for Bronny. I will read the scores. Amongst the champions, we have Simon D with 6, Javier with 13, Richard Green with 7, Baronator with 2, Just for Fun Fishing with 10, Ref Wolf 1, Bronny Lee 8, The Wizard 1. And amongst everybody else competing to enter the Hall of Champions, we have Just for Fun Fishing Mom at 5. Continuing on to another round of, we're going to do one more round of Guess That Balloon. Let people get back from the break. One more round of Guess That Balloon. You are allowed 2 guesses per player per balloon. Just keep it fair for newer people. First person to correct, I guess, and I'm making a little point on the scoreboard. Not a bad game. Yeah. It's pretty even. It was not a snake, or a turtle, or a scallop. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and start that round over, and I'm going to make something else. No points given out. You guys get your 2 guesses back. We'll do one more round. One more, hopefully, successful round. And then we will move on. Oh no. That's too fast. Oh, I just messed that one up. That's okay. It is not a hamster. This would be a lot of balloon for a hamster. Only 2 guesses per player, and I wore another draft on curl on a motorbike. Oops. I wonder if you guys can still tell what I was trying to make. Pretend this is right here. I popped that bubble, and I don't know how the rest of it popped. But that's okay. I have yet to get this head to stay on the body. Let's get one crucial detail, and it makes me mess it up. Oh my god. Pretend there's a bubble right there. Monkey would be correct. Sorry about that, guys. Point goes to Brawny. Alright, we're going to move on from the balloons. I'm not sure if I've ever done a monkey right. I keep snapping its neck by accident. Alright, Brawny, you're at 9. We're going to continue on. We're going to go ahead and move on to Tribond. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. The first person to tell me what these 3 things in common will get a point on the scoreboard. A leopard, a tiger, a cheetah. Cat would be correct. Cat would be correct. Michael Moore, that is a point for you. Michael, welcome to the scoreboard. Michael, I know I've seen you before, but it looks... I do have to make sure that I spell your name right for my records. Welcome to the scoreboard, Michael. And it also looks like this is your... I know I've seen you before, maybe once or twice. But it looks like this is your first time actually getting a point on the game show, which means... Congratulations. After this episode, I will be adding your name to the Hall of Fame, where once you enter, you never leave. You were number 136 on the Hall of Fame. 136. You're the 136th person to get a point on this game show. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have Scorpio, Libra, Taurus. Scorpio, Libra, Taurus. Zodiac would be correct there. Zodiac signs. That is a point for Bronny. You're at 10 points. Moving on to another round of Tribe on. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have shot put, triple jump, decathlon? 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 Is that how you say it? You guys are close. You guys are close. We're not quite there. Shot put, triple jump. Decathlon? Close. Track and field is close enough. They are track events. Which would be the same thing, just worded different. So yes, you get the point, Bronny, for track and field. 11. When I say close enough, I mean to the card, what the card says. Everything you guys said is pretty, Oftentimes you guys have a lot of right answers, but we just give it out if it's on the card. So, moving on to another round of Tribe on. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Fajitas, tortillas, burritos. First person to tell me what fajitas, tortillas, burritos has in common. Yes, they are food. Let's go more specific, though. Mexico's close enough. It's Mexican food. That's a point for Bronny. I would have given it two Mexican dishes, but Bronny was first on my screen. Oh, I didn't finish the card. Ooh, moving on to another round of Tribe on. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common. I'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have terminal, hangar, runway. First person to tell me what terminal, hangar, and runway have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. Airport would be correct. They are parts of an airport. That point goes to Michael Moore. I don't know where Just for Fun Fishing Mom went, but Michael Moore is catching up. Michael Moore, you're at 2 points. Competing with Just for Fun Fishing Mom, who is at 5 points. You two are the only competitors so far for today who are trying to enter the Hall of Champions. Everyone else is a former returning Hall. Continuing on to another round of Tribe on. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common. I'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have angels, lights, tinsel. Angels, lights, tinsel. Christmas would be correct. That's close enough. Things people put on a Christmas tree. That is a point for Michael Moore. Moving on to another round of Tribe on. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have white, raisin, and Italian. White, raisin, Italian. Bread would be correct. There are types of bread. That is another point for Michael Moore. Oh, you're at 4. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch it up a little bit to blurt. Blurt is where I give the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, the short, loud sound made by dogs and certain other animals. The second definition, an area with a smooth surface for ice skating or roller skating. Bark would be correct. That's a point for Michael Moore. Michael, you're currently at 5. Read the second definition again. Oh, rink was correct. That is a point for Bronny. You're at 13. Moving on to another round of blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, the fleshy back part of the leg between the knee and the ankle. The second definition, a hard, clear, deep red, precious stone. Calf would be correct. That is a point for Michael Moore. Michael, congratulations. You are currently in the lead. You are currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions. Ronnie is close enough to Ruby. That is a point for Bronny. Typos are right. You're at 14. Moving on to another round of blurt. The first person to tell me what these two things... Oh, I'm sorry. Moving on to another round of blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me what the The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a meal eaten outdoors. The second definition, a large mass of snow, ice, earth, or rocks that falls or slides down the side of a mountain. Avalanche would be correct. And picnic would be correct. First person to say avalanche would be Michael Moore. First person to say picnic would also be Michael Moore. Michael, I'm glad you came back to the game show. You're doing pretty good. You're going up against 2 former champions who are also very good at the game. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. 1 guess per comment, as many comments as you would like. The first definition, a thick, strong rope made of twisted wire or fiber. The second definition, an organization of boys or men as at a college. He is on a roll. Frat is close enough. It's fraternity. That is a point for Brawny. And nobody has the first one. The first one, Brawny, you were at 15. I will reread the first one. A thick, strong rope made of twisted wire or fiber. I didn't know this was considered a rope. Cable would be correct. A thick, strong rope made of twisted wire or fiber. Cable is correct, and that is a point for Michael Moore. Michael Moore, you're at 9. You are at 9. Moving on to another round of Blurt. The first person to tell me the correct word for either of these dictionary definitions will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition. And up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a soap or detergent used to wash the hair and scalp. The second definition, air that moves over the earth. Shampoo is correct. That is a point for Brawny. Wind is correct. That is a point for Michael Moore. You're at 10. Moving on to another round of Blurt. The first person to... sorry, guys. I've been really tired and a little sick today, so I'm a little out of it. But the games must go on. We're going to play Blurt. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. Thanks. The first definition, someone who takes care of a flock of sheep. The second definition, a sour-tasting food resembling custard that is made from milk thickened by the action of bacteria. Shepherd would be correct. That's a point for Michael Moore. Thank you, Brawny. Will be well rested for this weekend, hopefully. Yogurt is correct. That is another point for Michael Moore. You're at 11. We're going to move back on to Tribond. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. A clash, a quarrel, a skirmish. A clash, a quarrel, a skirmish. Fight would be correct. They are terms for a fight. First person on my screen to say it would be Brawny. Brawny, you are at 13. Moving on to another round of Tribond. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. First person to tell me what your bean, your noodle, or your melon have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Brain is close enough. Slang terms for a person's head or brain. So I would have accepted head or brain. Just who they would have got us first. Michael Moore, there's another point for you. You were at 12. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have cockpit, propeller, tail. Airplane is correct. They are parts of an airplane. Michael Moore, you're at 13. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have merci, bonjour, oi, maybe ow, finger slip. France or French. It would have been France. They are French words. France is close enough. I'll give it to you, Barani. You're at 14. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have an American-specific one, so we're going to skip that. I don't do U.S.-specific cards. First person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have haddock, snook, flounder. Haddock, snook, flounder. Fish is correct. That is a point for Brawny. Brawny, you are at 20 points. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Rabbit's feet, horseshoes, four-leaf clovers. Rabbit's feet, horseshoes, four-leaf clovers. Luck would be correct. Things that are believed to be lucky. That is a point for Michael. Michael, you are at 14. Moving on to another round. Moving on to another round of Tribon. This is where I give you guys three things. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common, and we'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have strings on a guitar, sides of a hexagon, volleyball players on a team. Strings on a guitar. 6 would be correct. That is a point for Richard Green. Richard, you're at 8 points. I'm impressed you got that one. Moving on to another round of... That was a good answer. I was impressed you got it. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have a chain, an anklet, a locket. A chain, an anklet, a locket. Jewelry is correct. They are jewelry. As a point for Michael Moore. Michael Moore, you are at 15. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have slashing, high sticking, charging. Slashing, high sticking, charging. Oh wow. I don't think I would get this one. Slashing, high sticking, charging. Hockey would be correct. There are penalties in hockey. In ice hockey, I don't know if there's a difference between ice hockey and not. I know. That was a point for Richard Green. Do you guys know that? I know there's people play hockey on skates, but then people just play it like running around. Is it the same thing? Just like the difference is whether you're just like playing on skates or not. Otherwise, is it the same rules? I really don't know. I'm not a sports person. I just like to read and write. I thought so too. I figure like I've seen neighborhood kids before when I was younger just play without skates, but I mean like it makes sense then because not everybody's got skates as a kid, you know. So I figured it'd be the same rules, but I don't know. We are out of Name That Sport. We are out. We have no more. I've done them all. I've done them all, and I don't want to give too many advantages by repeating too many cards. So I probably will keep it out for. I'm actually working on my own version of Name That Sport and other similar games as well that you guys will hopefully start seeing next week. I've been very, very busy with packing up and moving. Password, sure, we can play Password. But I have been working on some games. Got some fun surprises coming up. We can play Password. Password is the most strict game on the show. Yeah, that's also another thing is there is really only so many sports out there. We're going to play a round of Password. Password is where you guys must guess my one-word password based off the clues and the hints that I give. You're not allowed to have typos. This is the most strict game on the show. Capitalization does not matter. All right. People with a lot of money will hire a blank to live in their house and help them with whatever they want. Butler is correct. That is a point for Michael. Michael, you are at 16 points. Moving on to another round of password. The first person to tell me what my one-word password is based off of my clues and hints will get a point on the scoreboard. Typos are not accepted on this game. There were 3 states of matter, at least when I was in school, and apparently now there are 4. Before it was a gas, solid, and a blank. Now it's a gas, solid, blank, and plasma. Plasma is the 4th. Gas, solid, blank was what I was taught were the states of matter. Now it's gas, solid, blank, and plasma. Liquid is correct. Point for Richard Green. Yeah, that's when I was in school 10 years ago. It was gas, solid, liquid. Now it's gas, solid, liquid, plasma. First person to say liquid would be Richard Green. Did he spell it right? Did. Richard Green, you're at 10. Moving on to another round of password. The first person to correctly guess my one-word password will get a point on the scoreboard. You guys are not allowed to have typos. This is what's at an ice cream parlor they would use to get the ice cream out of the bin. This is also a slang word for information. Like, hey, give me the blank. Yep, scoop. Give me the scoop. Or you'd use a scoop for ice cream. That's a point for Richard Green. We have 11 points for you. I need to make that point a little bit thicker. This will for sure be my first and only stream of the night. We're going to move on to another round of password. The first person to correctly guess my one-word password based off of my clues and hints. The first person to guess my one-word password get a point on the scoreboard. Somalia, I believe, is the only country with this type of political anything. This is what you would call a political system that's rather a lack of a system and has a more so of a lack of a government, where areas are governed by really whoever just takes over that area. Dictator's close, but it's not quite. This is where there are no laws. This is where it's a lack of laws, and everybody fends for themselves. And I do believe Somalia is the only example of this. I could be wrong. Anarchy is correct. Anarchy. I do believe Somalia is the only anarchist country because their government fell, I think, 40 years ago. Or don't quote me, but anarchy is correct. That is a point for Michael. I mean, it's like run by like a bunch of different gangs and stuff. Moving on to another round of password. The first person to guess my one-word password based off the clues and the hints that I give will go to points on the scoreboard. This doesn't really sound like something you want on you. People wash their hands all the time to get this off of you, yet you eat it all the time as well, and you need this for a lot of different dairy products like yogurt. Germs is close. A lot of people are... Bacteria is correct. Everybody washes their hands to avoid it, but then goes to the fridge and eat it. Bacteria. Bronny, you're the first person to spell it right. Well, you're first person to say it all. Y'all spelled it right. Moving on to another round of password where I give you guys clues and hints to my one-word password. The first person to correctly guess my one-word password without typos will get a point on the scoreboard. This is a person you take your meat to for them to cut it up and give it back to you. Their whole job is just cutting up meat. Butcher would be correct. Bronny, you missed the C. That point goes to Richard. Richard, you are at 12 points. Moving on to another round of password where you guys have to guess my one-word password based off the clues and the hints that I give. You felt that typo. Yeah, that was rough. It was rough. Moving on to my one-word password. You can put this on a sandwich, and it's also a type of fish, but they're not the same thing. One will sting you, one's made out of grapes. Jelly is correct. I had Tribond on my mind when I was doing that one. Jelly would be correct. That is a point for Michael. Michael, you are at 18. Moving on to another. You call it jam in the UK. I think some people do call it jam here as well, and it just depends on what part of the United States you're from. Because I've also... Hey, Dollar, welcome back. I've also heard it called jam here a lot. And then I also think it's depending on the generation as well. Some people will also call it jam. So, moving on to another round of password where you guys have to guess my one-word password based off of the clues and the hints that I give. Interesting. Good to know, Barney. I'm going to have to look into it. I know that. Oh, you guys call... Don't you guys call what we call Jell-O? Isn't that what you guys call jelly? I think what we call Jell-O, you call jelly. If I am remembering correct. Yeah. Yeah, that stuff sucks. Nobody likes that. Some people like it. I don't know. 50 years ago, they used to put spaghetti in that stuff here. And that was apparently dinner. And ironically, ever since we stopped doing that, the lifespan went up because people, not that they got healthier, but they got happier. Stop eating spaghetti and jelly. Good to know, Bronny. Thank you. Moving on to another round of password, where you guys have to guess my one-word password based off the clues and the hints that I give. Typos are not allowed. If you guys are in a cave and you yell, you'll hear a blank from your voice. Your voice will go like, oh, 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 oh. Same difference. Echo would be correct. There's a point for Michael. Michael, you were at 19 points. We're moving on to another round of password. The first person to correct to guess my one-word password will point on the scoreboard. Excellent. Oh, man, that's quite the typo. Oh, man. I'm tired. I shouldn't laugh at that. Oh, man. Moving on to a password. The first person to correctly guess my one-word password are going to point on the scoreboard. Typos are not allowed. This is a place you would go to see a large collection of something, typically something probably older versus newer. These could be filled with history items. They could be filled with art. in a sense. Museum would be correct. There's a point for Richard. Richard, you are at a 13. Moving on to another round of password. The first person to tell me what my one-word password is without any typos will get a point on the scoreboard. When something is frozen, you have to blank it out by leaving it either on a counter or just introducing it to a warmer environment. Thaw would be correct. That's a point for Bronny. Bronny, you are at 22. We're going to move on from password. We're going to go to we're going to play Tribon. Tribon is where I give you guys three things. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have Judaism, Islam, and Buddhism. First person to tell me what these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Religion is correct. They are religions. That's a point for Bronny. Let me just double check. Yep. Bronny, you're at 23. Moving on to another on a Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have cardboard, match, and lunch. Box would be correct. Box would be correct. So that is a point for Bronny. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person telling me what these three things have in common, I'm going to point on the scoreboard. We have the shell, the albumin, and the yolk. Egg would be correct. That is a point for Richard Green. Richard Green, you are at 14 points. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have mousse, conditioner, and gel. Nice. Good job, Richard. Hair would be correct. There's something you put in your hair. That's a point for Bronny. Bronny, you are at 25. Hey, Green Submarine, welcome to the live game show where I host and keep score. You play by commenting. I actually think you've maybe potentially been here before. There's somebody with a very similar name to you. We're going to move on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have steal, dribble, and goalie. First person to tell me what steal, dribble, and goalie have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Bronny, I'm going to give it to you for their terms in soccer. I would have also accepted football as well because of, I know I'm in the U.S. and we say it wrong compared to the rest of the world, and most of you guys aren't from the U.S. So that is a point for Bronny. Typos are okay. We're going to move on to Blurt. Blurt is a fan favorite. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. You are allowed 1 guess per comment, as many comments as you would like. The first definition, the thin, hard covering at the end of a finger or toe. The second definition, to mix playing cards to change their order. These are the dictionary definitions. Nail would be correct. That's a point for Richard. Shuffle would be correct. That is another point for Richard. Moving on to another round of blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, the front part of the leg between the knee and the ankle. The second definition, a rod or staff that is carried by a queen or king as a symbol of authority. That is okay, Dollar. Welcome back. Shin would be correct. That is a point for Brawny. A rod or staff that is carried by a queen or king is a symbol of authority. Scepter would be correct. That is a point for Michael. Michael Moore, you are at 20 points. Moving on to another round of blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, to become larger in size. The second definition, a large group of fish or water animals swimming together. Row would be correct. That is a point for Richard Green. Richard, you are at 17. School would be correct. That is a point for Michael Moore. Michael Moore, you are at 21 points. Moving on to another round of blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person telling the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a reddish sweet potato. The second definition, a combat between 2 mounted knights wearing armor and armed with lances. This is a tricky one. I will reread the definitions. The first definition repeated, a reddish sweet potato yam is correct. I will reread the second one. Who said yam first? That would be Brawny. I will repeat the second definition. A combat between 2 mounted knights wearing armor and armed with lances. Jousting would be correct. I accidentally made Brawny's point the wrong color. I had to delete 2 because it was really close for me. Or erase 2, I gave you 2 back. Jousting is correct. That is a point for Michael. I don't know if I gave you the blue. But you got it. Michael, you are at 22. Brawny, you're at 28. Moving on to another round of blurt. I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to name the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a game played by hitting a small, hard ball with one of a set of clubs around an outdoor course into a series of holes. The second definition, a strip of wood, metal, or other material with a straight edge marked off in units and used to measure and draw straight lines. Golf would be correct. That is a point for Richard Green. Ruler would be correct. That is another point for Richard Green. Richard, you are at 19. Well, that didn't even make a slight mark. Perfect. Continuing on to another round of blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. We have a little over 10 minutes left. The first definition, to argue in trying to agree on something such as a price. The second definition, a very light shade of brown. Haggle is correct. That is a point for Michael Moore. It is not tan. Wow, this marker's not working. Hey, Evan Lane, welcome back. Beige is correct. That is a point for Brawny. Michael Moore got the first point. I have to rewrite it because I didn't write with the other marker. Brawny got the second. Welcome, Evan Lane. We have about 10 minutes left in the show. We're going to move on to another round of Blurt. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. You are allowed 1 guess per comment, as many comments as you would like. The first definition: a tool or machine with a thin metal blade that has sharp teeth on one edge for cutting hard material, such as wood or metal. The second definition: the rounded back part of the human foot under the ankle. Saw would be correct. Heel would be correct. That's a point for Bronny for saying saw first, and Richard Green for saying heel first. Richard, you are at 20. Ronnie, you are at 30. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition. Hey, David, welcome back. Also, a recent introduction to the Hall of Champions. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: fog mixed with smoke. The second definition: a line usually printed in large type at the top of a newspaper article. It is not cloud. We have about 7.5 minutes left. 8.5. Headline would be correct. That is a point for Dovid. I'll reread the first one. Fog mixed with smoke. All right, Dollar. I will see you later. Hey, Dovid, welcome to the scoreboard. And as a returning champion, as a former champion, you are entered into the scoreboard as pink. Smog is the correct answer. That is a point for Bronny. These markers are rough. Bronny, you are at 31. David, you're now at 1. Welcome to the scoreboard. Oh man, these markers are really not working too well. Moving on. We're going to switch it up a little bit. We are going to play Family Feud. We're going to play a quick round of Family Feud. Up to 5 points can be handed out to the players. Name something specific everyone complains about. Name something specific everyone complains about. As many comments as you would like. And we're going to go ahead and close the poll right there. Only accepting the answers above when I said done. All right. Name something specific everyone complains about. Richard Green with a job. Work is on here. You're going to get the point for that. You are at 21 points. And then we have traffic is on here. That is a point for Michael. You are at 23. Siblings. Not on here. Bills. It's not specific enough. Actually, I'm going to give it to you for money because oftentimes when people complain about money, it's hand in hand with bills. So I'm going to give it to you for money. Oh, man, these markers are rough today. Weather is on here. There's another point for Dovid. Wow. a second. See if that'll work. Oh, yeah. That did not. Give me 1 second. Alright, guess I'm just going to switch up the color for a little bit. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Moving on. We give it out for money, traffic, weather, job, or work. So left would be taxes. Government. I will give it to you there, Richard. Since I'm switching the colors, I gotta erase previous ones. Match the new color, or I'll ruin the markers further. Moving on. We are going to move on to Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. First person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Mouse, booby, crab. Trap would be correct. Yes, Richard, I am definitely going to have to do that. I'm definitely going to have to do that. What is the point for Barani? Moving on to another round of Tribon, where the first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. First person to tell me what swig, sip, and slurp have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Swig, sip, slurp. They are terms for drinking. That is a point for Michael Moore. Continuing on to another round of Tribon, the first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have a kite, a guitar, a yo-yo, string would be correct. That is a point for Michael Moore. Michael Moore, you are at 25 points. Continuing on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have about 2 minutes left. Airbag, cruise control, sunroof. Airbag, cruise control, sunroof. Car would be correct. That's a point for Richard Green. You are at 23 points. Moving back to a... Oh, U.S. Pacific. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. A chow, a chihuahua, a pointer. Dog would be correct. That is a point for Michael Moore. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Stock car, 3-legged, cross country. Race would be correct. Oh, wait. Is that correct? Yes. Race would be correct. That is a point for Richard Green. You're at 24. All right. It's another round. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have Virgo, Pisces, Capricorn. Zodiac signs would be correct. That's another point for Bronny. Where are you, Bronny? Right there. You are at 34. We have our final round of the night until Monday. Then I will announce the winner. We're going to play one more round of Tribe on. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. First person to tell me what yearbooks, checks, and autographs have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Yearbooks, checks, and autographs. Signature would be correct. They are things people sign. That is point for Michael. I have been switching up the setup slightly lately. As you guys can tell, the lights are a little bit more boring now. I'm not going to lie. Preparing to move, and so a lot of things are subtly changing. So I'm going to announce all the winners. Amongst the champions, Simon D has 6, Javier has 13, Richard Green has 24, Baronator 2, Just for Fun Fishing 10, Ref Wolf 1, Bronny Lee 34, The Wizard 1, David 2. Amongst everybody else competing to enter the Hall of Champions, we have Just for Fun Fishing Mom 5. And now, to announce the winner and who will be entering the Hall of Champions, coming in with 27 points would be, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Moore. Michael Moore, congratulations. Michael Moore, your name will be entered into the Hall of Champions. If you guys liked any of the games played on this show, there are affiliate links in the description. And I do get a commission based on that, and at no extra cost to you, and it definitely does help me. Hey, Ken, you just got to the end of this. Michael Moore just entered the Hall of Champions with 27 points. Oops. Guys, that was a good, fun episode. This will be my last one until Monday. Thank you guys again for playing. Get well. Oh, I'm going to try the rest. Feel honored. Your name will be added. Ken, you came in right at the end. Right at the... I don't know how much resting I'll be doing this weekend, but I'll be all right. Oh, Florida woman. So sorry. This is the end. And this is going to be my last stream until Monday. I'm going out of town. Yeah, I'm going out of town until Monday. So you have to add Michael Moore to all the halls. Well, 2 of the halls. Hey, Michael Moore, have a good one. Thank you for playing. But yes, Florida Woman, I will be back Monday, and I'll be trying to stream every single day, multiple times a day. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. I think I'd rather be doing this. Well, I don't know. It'll be good to see family. It'll be good to see them. I've just been loving this so much. I would have done another one tonight, but I'm just not feeling well, so I'm gonna have to only do one today, which is okay. I'm glad you guys have been enjoying this because I've been loving it. It's been so much fun for me. Got some new games going to be added next week. Hopefully they go good. And whoever just subbed, this firework is for you. Make sure everything's entered right. Through the halls. There we go. Guys, we currently have 33 people in the Hall of Champions and 136 in the Hall of Fame. Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it. Health is important, but man, I love doing this. I do. I really do. This is so fun. I honestly I have so much fun doing this. I hope I get to do this for a long time. Sometimes those pops are loud. I am excited to do balloon art with a lot of my family this weekend. Enjoy my weekend. Thank you. I'm gonna be excited for that. I'll hopefully come back with a lot of new creations. Well, guys, I gotta make sure I'm ready for the weekend. This has been really fun. I will see you guys Monday at the latest. I'll hopefully be able to do 2 or 3 streams on Monday. We will see. I will make a post Monday. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a good weekend as well, and I will be back. Try doing a rabbit. I think I messed up the bunny pretty bad. I'll write that down. I'm going to write that down right now. All right. I will try it out. Thank you. Happy trails. You guys have a good one. I will be back on Monday. Thanks for another great game show. Congratulations again, Michael. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.